Hey guys, welcome to today's video. It's Friday. I'm actually filming this before going to the gym, so sorry if I look kind of like tired and sleepy. I normally go at like 6:30 and now it is 8 o'clock. I didn't feel very good this morning, so I took paracetamol, went back to bed, got up, and then I thought I would film the video now before going to the gym so that I can kind of get all my work done at once afterwards. So today's video is going to be the worst thing about entrepreneurship. So this is obviously from my point of view. Entrepreneurship is something that's very personal and different for each person that embarks on its journey. So the worst thing for me is it's actually a combination of things. But to summarize it as a whole, it's the fact that you just you can't prepare for it. So entrepreneurship, you can't just read a book about entrepreneurship and then just go and succeed and like do great. It's not something that is, I guess, compacted. Like, you can't describe entrepreneurship, like you can't describe what someone's experience is going to be like or what you're going to feel emotionally going through it or how long it's going to take you. There's no parameters on it, so it's kind of the fear of the unknown with entrepreneurship. You don't really know what you're going to get until you start doing it. And even when you're a year, 2, 5, 10 years in, you can't predict what's going to happen. And I guess that's maybe one of the reasons why certain personality types are drawn to entrepreneurship. They like to feel, I guess, not unsafe, but feel like they aren't fully certain of what's going to happen. So like, I don't know how to describe it very well, but for me, having a normal job, like even going through entrepreneurship, sometimes I forget how lucky I am that I can work from wherever I want. I can work from home, I can dictate my schedule and my day. And like when it gets hard, I'm just like, oh, like this is difficult. Like when I've had a bad month, I'm just like, oh, I could have just got like a full-time job and it'd be like easier than this. And then I have to kind of like catch myself to remind myself how unhappy I was when I was working that job, because I like sort of the security and the safety of having a job where I don't have too much pressure, where it's not like my problem to deal with everything at once. I have like a specific role and that's what I do. And that, like, you think it sounds good when you forget what it's like. And it's just like easy, like you don't have to actively think all the time for most sort of, I'm talking more like retail, like general jobs. You can kind of learn that role, and then when you've been doing it for long enough, it starts to become habitual. So I know for me in retail, every job that I did was always like really hard and really scary when I first started. And then the more I did it, the less I had to think. And I didn't really have to be that innovative. Like, I knew that it was okay. I had sort of support to fall back on. If I needed help, I just go to the person above me kind of thing. I was never the person at the top having to deal with everybody's problems. Like the most responsibility I had was when I had a sales team when I was doing MLM, and that was sort of like managing 3 people. Even that was tricky. So I guess I'm trying to explain that when you're in a role, you know what the role is defined as. You can write down on paper what your duties are. With entrepreneurship, there's so many avenues for you to go down. So you can have a marketing agency, you could become an influencer, you could just build a personal brand to then launch a product, you could do e-com, dropshipping. Like, there's so much stuff that you could go into that it's impossible to know where you're going to be in a year's time. Like, you can give yourself goals or projects and things to reach, but honestly, like, I've reached a lot of the goals I've set for myself, but not in the way I thought I'd set them. So a lot of the things, like how I thought entrepreneurship was going to go for me, is completely different. And I think that's the beauty of it, and I enjoy that. But now and again, like, you do forget, and it is tough, and nothing can really prepare you for what you're going to go through when you're an entrepreneur and sort of the journey that you're going on. So like, emotionally, it's one of the toughest things I think I've ever done. Like, I've never been so, actually no, MLM was the worst, but that was like in a bad way, I guess. That was more like overworked, like undersleeping, just like, that wasn't like in a healthy way, it wasn't helping me grow. But with entrepreneurship, it kind of highlights everything bad. So any weaknesses that you have in your personality will be brought up by entrepreneurship. And I guess that's why a lot of people give up and they go back to what they know is safe. And some people can kind of push through it and they have that like grit to go through. And like with me, I always like, I get scared sometimes and I go up and down. I'm like, oh no, like this is really difficult, but I just don't give myself an option to step out. I'm like, this is it for me. I've tried so many different jobs and I've not been happy in them. And I know the only way I'll be happy and not complain is by having something that I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about helping people. And I've done more of that from the year of entrepreneurship than I think I ever have in the years working a normal job. Well, at least like that's how I feel. And it's quite nice to have responsibility when you see the good stuff coming through. So it's always hard when you have challenges or you're trying to keep people happy, or maybe you're not doing great with a client, or maybe someone's not pleased with your online program. There's gonna always be people that you can't please, or something that you come up against that you struggle with, something new that you're not sure how to do and you feel overwhelmed, and that's completely normal. But it's just the ability to know that, look, like, is it worth it? And if it is worth it, then you stick to it. And if it's not worth it, then you go and do something else and you don't complain about it. So yeah, that was kind of, that was my rant for today. I think entrepreneurship is the most incredible thing that I'm so happy that I became an entrepreneur and that I decided to build something for myself. And I'm lucky that I have people around me to support me, and it's sort of a community where it doesn't matter where you're based. Like, I have a lot of friends that I've met through entrepreneurship that are in similar spaces in the US. And there's not many females that I identify with. So I actually looked up to like a lot of guys when I first started, because I couldn't really find girls that were in the marketing agency space that were in the similar space to me. But now as soon as I find any females or anybody that is similar to me that I can identify with, like, you just want to connect with that person, use them as support and sort of help each other out. So yeah, I think entrepreneurship is great, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, most people that watch this channel already are or have a marketing agency. But if you are thinking about it, I would recommend keeping a job if you have one right now and starting your own thing on the side and waiting for that to be self-sustaining. So waiting for you to be able to make consistent money off that, have it by self-sustaining. I don't mean completely automated. I mean that it can make the same amount of money as what your job is, or make enough to keep you sort of afloat, and do that consistently for at least a few months, like say like 3-4 months. Have that business making you a good amount of money until you quit. I did it the wrong way around, and then I just struggled and put myself under like a lot of stress to like pay bills and stuff. So I would recommend having a plan and making smart risks instead of just taking a leap and not really knowing what's going to happen. But yeah, if you're considering it is the most rewarding thing, I think I've already said this, like, it's the most rewarding thing like I've ever done. You can't prepare for it, but I would just say make sure you always have a backup plan. Make sure you have something there to support you in case things go to shit, and make sure that you surround yourself with good people, and make sure that you work on yourself as well. Like, before you can build a business, you have to make sure that you within yourself are strong enough, and that you have the drive and the passion, and you are like mentally stable. I know that sounds extreme, but if you can't control your mood and your state of mind, you're not going to be able to get into deep focus. So you're going to find it difficult when you're going through a hard time in business to keep on track towards that project or that goal that you're working towards. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts below, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you on Monday in the next one.